We hope you're enjoying all the great competition you're seeing here today. At the Iowa Girls High School Athletic Union, we're grateful for the incredible support that makes this event possible. None more vital or valued than the proud title sponsor, Iowa Farm Bureau. With me here today is Brent Johnson, president of the Iowa Farm Bureau, to explain why their organization invests in and supports the Girls Union.
Thanks, Aaron. The Iowa Farm Bureau has been the title sponsor of the Iowa Girls High School Athletic Union for more than 2 decades now. The athletes competing here today represent the very best of our nation's student athletes, driven, dedicated, and committed to teamwork. At the Iowa Farm Bureau, we share those same values. Our farmers lead the nation not only in the production of corn, hogs, eggs, and ethanol, but also in the implementation of a number of innovative soil and water conservation practices which hold soil in place and reduce runoff. These shared values unite Iowa's student athletes and farm families, and our partnership with the Girls Union gives us the perfect opportunity to celebrate that commitment to excellence statewide.
Thank you, Brent. We appreciate the Iowa Farm Bureau's ongoing support and the role you play in helping Iowa's girls shine.
And number 13, Lizzie Tiernan. Assistant coaches for St. Edmond, Bill Myers, Brian Maxon, Delaney Barkby, and Mariah Myers. The starting lineup for St. Edmond. Leading off number 16, the second baseman, Ella Bambi. Batting second, number 1, the center fielder, Sophia Swins. Batting third, number 17, the third baseman, Faith Shearbrown. Batting fourth, number 23, the shortstop, Brianna Myers. Batting fifth, number 5, the left fielder, Jade Rock. Batting sixth, number 6, the first baseman, Brooklyn Ulrich. Batting seventh, number 2, the right fielder, Greenlee Crimmins. Batting eighth, number 11, the designated player, Olivia Andrew. Batting ninth, number 9, the catcher, Baylor Ulrich. And in the flex, number 4, pitching, Torrance Healy.
Schrader. Yeah.
Head coach for the Gales, Bill Sherbrand. Ladies and gentlemen, your umpires for tonight's game. At home plate, Mr. Mike Kerr. At first base, Mr. Travis Chizik. And at third base, Mr. Aaron Schmidt. Your umpires.
All right, you guys are in 3, 2. Welcome in. We are live from Farm Bureau Field at the Harlan Rogers Sports Complex. Class 1A Girls State Softball Tournament presented by Iowa Farm Bureau. My name is Emery Songer. Owen Sebring is alongside with me. The final quarterfinal here on this field for Class 1A, and it features the number 6 seed Remsen St. Mary's and number 3 Fort Dodge St. Edmond. Owen, we're coming off the heels of a couple of pretty incredible games, first of which the second quarterfinal saw a 21-8 victory. If you want to go even further back earlier today, we had the 8 seed pull a win on the 1 seed, and then one of the most remarkable games that has ever been played at Fort Dodge, and I don't say that in hyperbole. It was a 12-11 final score. Clarksville over their nearby rival in terms of North Butler. 4 chances for North Butler to pull that first round upset, but eventually in walk-off fashion in a wild 15-inning game, it was Clarksville, the defending champs, who pulled out the win. These guys have a lot to try to live
tough
up
act to follow.
Yeah, across the entire day here in 1A.
Yeah, and this is a way to end. I know for you and myself who were on that call for the 15-inning game, I think that we never root for any teams in this job that we have, but we might be rooting for a short game. Something quick would be a great way to end the night here in Fort Dodge.
I will cheers to that. That is, I absolutely love watching epics, but then you and I have to also call a second game. We already called 2 full games worth, so we're going to do our best to give our best energy to this game, just like these ladies and these fans who have been standing around for a couple of hours waiting on this game to start. This game was supposed to start, I think, at 6:45, so we are a couple hours late.
2.5 hours later.
So I think most people thought this field would be wrapping up right now, and instead we're starting our last game. So Remsen St. Mary's 24-4. They will start the game here with Chloe Homan, Lana Jungers, and Hallie Bunkers will be the 3 scheduled batters, and they will be facing in the opposing circle Torrin Helly. This is an interesting matchup as well. St. Edmond, of course, from Fort Dodge. Really good opportunity to get to know this place pretty well, in a powerhouse in Class 1A in the small schools. And then Remsen St. Mary's, is there a sport they're not proficient in? You see them in every state tournament, it feels like, in every sport. Is the first pitch a swing and a miss to Chloe Homan for strike 1 at 9-21.
As good as Remsen St. Mary's is across the board in so many sports, championships in baseball and boys basketball and football, and you still have to always remember that this is one of the smallest schools in the entire state of Iowa. 6th smallest in Iowa, the smallest school to qualify for the state tournament this year. Little knuckler off the bat. Third base pop out to start the game here for Remsen St. Mary's. So they are doing that with some of the least amount of numbers of any school across the entire state. The amount of talent they have in the school for their numbers. I mean, they're graduating less than 20 kids in an entire class. So that just adds to the remarkability of what they do year in and year out at that school.
Yeah, and you got to be completely honest. I'll be completely honest with you. I don't know, like, there's going to be some other small schools that can say that they have really great programs, but everyone in the state knows this school because of that success, and you have to put it in that context to know really how special that is. It's ball 1 here to Lana Jungers, the number 2 hitter. We'll get to the defense here momentarily. Very quick turnaround. The people that work in this tournament are the best in the business. They can get these fields turned around so good as the long arms there by Helly picks it up, throws it over to first base, robbing Jungers of a hit, and there's 2 quick outs here for Remsen St. Mary's here in the first.
Hallie Bunkers.
And I got to say, for Remsen St. Mary's, too, I went through and counted. I think they've got 18 gals on the roster. That's probably over 50% of the girls that are in the high school. So they are pulling just about everybody in here, which we talked about this in the last game, that when you do have a program like this that has success every year, as Remsen has done in recent seasons, that just draws more people in. That makes the 7th graders, 8th graders, 9th graders just want to try the sport, even if they are new to the game. Maybe go out and try it. And when you've got a squad like Remsen who's been going to state a lot recently in 21, 2, 3, 4, and now this season in 2026, boy, that brings a lot of people out to maybe try to see if they can play at the highest level possible as well.
2 outs here for Hallie Bunkers, the number 3 hitter. Bunkers will bat in this 3 spot and play third base. And she's going to pop this one up into the outfield. It will be the right fielder making the catch to retire the side. That is Greenlee Crimmins, who was able to make the play there. Okay, so we'll get everything set up the best that we can as we, try to smash as much information in early. We are going to come back for the bottom of the first. 3 up, 3 down for Remsen St. Mary's. St. Edmond will come to the plate when we return here on the Girls Union Network, powered by Mid-American Energy Company.
At Mid-American Energy, we're one company serving 1.6 million people who all need energy that's available 24/7. That's why we work 24/7. That's why we make investments in our systems that make us more resilient to extreme weather. That's why we generate power from all available resources to cover the variables in supply and demand. And that's why when the power is knocked out, we work around the clock to restore power to you. Mid-American Energy, obsessively, relentlessly at your service.
Yeah, it's a trip when you hit the road. And when you know when you've arrived. It's a trip when you get everything you want. The burger and the fries, the creek and the crick, the city and the countryside. It's a trip when you're where you're meant to be. In this moment, in this bathroom mirror, looking like $1 million. And yeah, it's a trip when it goes by fast. Des Moines. It's a trip. Make it yours.
Live, bottom of the first inning here as 4. St. Edmond will bat. Remsen St. Mary's, quiet 1-2-3 inning against pitcher Torin Helly. We'll reset both defenses and the pitchers as we get along and get going here. As the first pitch called strike to Ella Vandy, leadoff batter for St. Edmond. First, talk about Neely Bacon in the circle. Bacon, 21 appearances, 121 innings of work, a 2.20 ERA. She did strike out 121 batters in 121 innings. Makes it easy math. 30 walks allowed. She went 16-3 on the year as it's now 1-1.
Something interesting about Remsen St. Mary's. This year they just started a sharing relationship with Storm Lake St. Mary's, and so Neely Bacon is actually a student over the SLSM. Alma mater of Ben McCollum, of course, as we see another foul off, but Neely Bacon, so she's one of just 3 students, I think, who came over from Storm Lake St. Mary's and is on this Remsen St. Mary's roster. And she's been great. She's actually committed to Wartburg, so she's been good enough. She's going to be playing some college softball next year.
Nice.
Leads the team in home runs, RBI, doubles, etc.
Yeah, and we were talking in our previous quarterfinal about a lot of the youth, but there is a lot of upperclassmen leadership on these teams as well as this one well outside. 2-2 here to Ella Vandy. For Vandy, numbers on the season as well. Freshman, 421 coming to the plate, 41 runs scored with 24 runs knocked in. This offense is powerful across the board as this one will hit her, and she will fire up the dugout and her fans as she runs down to first base. Love to see the fire.
And she's somebody that as Vandy gets on base, might see a little bit of action out there on the bases. She leads the team in stolen bases. She's 4th in Class 1A in stolen bases, so she's got some speed out there. No hesitation when she's trying to go from first to second. So as Sophia Schlietz steps to the plate, Kutsi Vandy trying to get over there to second quickly.
Yeah, Sophia Schlietz as the number 2 hitter, center fielder, a junior, and they look her back to first base, the middle infield covering for St. Mary's. Grace Gallus, by the way, is the catcher. She's going to certainly be keeping an eye on the base runner over there at first, and Vandy will set up the defense for Remsen St. Mary's after this pitch from Neely Bacon. Popped into right field. That's hit well. Pushing back, making a nice catch is Sophia Harpenow, and that will be the first out of the inning. We've seen the ball carry quite a bit, maybe not as much now that it's dark, but that's a tough space for an outfielder to be because that ball's behind you. That runner is scoring from first base.
Yeah, the ball's been flying out here today, especially in that quarterfinal a couple of games ago between West Monona and Southeast Warren. A lot of balls flying out of the park. So I even a couple of home runs in the last game here. So this gal, especially Faith Sherbrun, maybe one of the best players of the state tournament across all classes. Just an unbelievable young player. Going to play at Kaiser University down in Florida. She is a special kind of talent on the softball diamond.
624 the average. That is not a mistake. Runner goes. Here's the throw from Gallus. Down to second. It's a good throw, but they're going to call her safe. Must have beat her to the bag on the tag. as the shortstop Chloe Homan came across to try to make the play and apply the tag, but they say that Vandy on the back side of the bag got in there ahead of the tag. So give her credit for 48th stolen base of the season. Wow. Real quick, Shire Brown, 46 RBIs, 18 doubles, 7 triples, 9 homers to go along with that ridiculous 624 average.
I can run down the list of areas where she leads her team in statistical offensive categories, but
she hits a line drive right back up the middle. That's going to be a base hit. They are going to wave around Vandy. The throw will be cut off. It will not make it home. A quick run across the board for St. Edmond, and the Gales lead it 1-0.
Well, as Sherbrun gets on base now, let me start to run through some of those areas where she leads her team in stats. Of course, it's home runs, doubles, triples, RBI, hits, walks, average, on-base percentage, slugging percentage, on-base plus slugging. She does it all. She is the straw that stirs the drink for Fort Dodge St. Edmond, and now we're going to see Rihanna Myers step to the plate, another talented athlete who has her dad is an assistant coach, as is her older sister. Some great softball DNA, and Rihanna Myers as well.
First pitch outside, another attempted steal, and another save. They try to apply the tag as she almost slid off the bag, but a steal for Sherbrun, and there is the second steal for a very aggressive base running team. We talk about just making stuff happen. You can look up and down. They have a half dozen players with 20-plus steals on the season.
Wow.
It is up and down the order. They will not stop running. You get on base, be prepared to steal second base, and they're really going to wear out Grace Gallus behind the plate as she tries to throw them out. She was close the first 2 times, but unsuccessful.
7 players with 19 or more stolen bases. That's unbelievable. I always have believed that that's a smart move on the part of a coach, as long as you have the speed for it.
Right.
Because
that's
at the state tournament, this isn't the case, but across the board in the regular season, a lot of teams maybe don't have a catcher that's talented enough to catch a runner at second base.
This one dribbles in. It'll be a wild pitch, an easy advance to third base. Gallus had no chance here. So she's at third. It's 3-0 to Rihanna Myers, the freshman cleanup hitter, who, by the way, Rihanna hitting .384, 6 home runs, 31 driven in.
Wow. Yeah, but I say when you're a softball coach at the high school level, keep stealing bases until a catcher can prove that they can throw you out, because at the high school level, a lot of times that's not going to be the case.
3-0, take it all the way, and it's ball 4. So a hit by pitch, a fly out, an RBI single, and a walk brings up Jade Rock. Before we get to Jade, let's go ahead and set the defense for you.
As we have,
Fort Dodge does the little dance all the way to second base. They eventually throw it there, but some teams, they don't even bother waiting for a pitch to steal base. They just keep on going. So she takes second base, does Myers, so it's second and third, and 1 out here for Rock. Get to this first pitch here. I mean, they are a fever pitch team to watch. I mean, you really can't take your eye off of the diamond if you're following the Gales. This one swung on, fouled out of play by Rock. And the outfield left to right is Lana Jungers in left, Mia Matgun in center, and Sophia Harpino in right field. In the infield, it's Hallie Bunkers at third, Chloe Homan playing shortstop. Dylan Schrader is the second baseman with Josie Schwickerath at first. As mentioned, Grace Gallus is behind the plate for the pitcher, the right-hander, Neely Bacon. 0-1 the count to Rock. Sophomore, she's going to square up and bunt. The throw's going to go to first. Now the runner comes home. The throw on its way home. They got her. Oh, they call her safe. I thought they had her dead to rights. That's what I get for guessing before I see home plate umpire Mike Kerr make an actual call. And she is safe. That is 3 bang-bang plays on the base paths. 3 times the Gales have found a way to be safe, and a second run crosses the plate.
Well, boy, that looked like the catcher might have applied the tag right before she jumped in there, but I think she might have adjusted that arm just a little bit over the catcher's mitt to get in there. Can't tap the helmet for a replay or anything, so we're going to call it good as they now take a 2-run lead, does Fort Dodge St. Edmond.
Jade Rock with the squeeze play, but gets credit for the RBI.
Just one inning in, man. Fort Dodge St. Edmond looks so clean, so good. Best team we've maybe seen so far at the state tournament.
You have to be so sharp defensively. Here's a ground ball left side. It gets past the third baseman Bunkers, and then the shortstop can't wrangle it. I don't think she would have had to play anyway. We'll have to see what the official ruling is on that one. It's going to be tough. But Brecken Ulrich, freshman first baseman, gets on. You see how aggressive they are, too.
Mm-hmm.
Like, they're swinging early in counts to make things happen, and that puts the third run across as Myers scores.
Just a finely tuned machine. Head coach Bill Sherbrun, it's his 6th year at the helm, came in when his daughter Faith would have been just about to start high school, and he's got them running like a Swiss watch. Man, just everything so precise, down to the fine details, the sacrifice bunts, the steals, the tags home when they're trying to score. Everything working so well, just humming with perfect efficiency for the Gales.
Greenlee Crimmins, the left-handed batter, choked up on that thing by a couple of fingers, and she'll bat with 2 outs and a runner on first. This one going to bounce in there and get away from the catcher. Taking second on the wild pitch is Ulrich. It's just incessant, the pressure that they put on you. Crimmins, sophomore, batting .259. She does have just 3 runs driven in on the season, just 27 at-bats. So has not been necessarily used as much in her sophomore season as some of the others in this order. But a slap hitter, left side, can add a little bit of added pressure in the lower part of the order for a defense to try to deal with. The 1-0. She takes a strike on the outside corner. And it's 1-1.
When you see slap hitter, you know that she's got some speed too. I have yet to see the player on the Fort Dodge St. Ed's roster who does not have speed to work with, but yeah. She's just another one. What are we at, the 7th spot here?
7th spot in the order. And she kind of reaches out trying to poke that one, goes through it. It's 1-2. On deck, Olivia Andrew. If she reaches. The 1-2 on the way here from Bacon. And, a little poke, but it's caught on the fly by Bunkers at third base. It's slow motion almost with the way that play developed. But 3 runs across for St. Edmond, and they have a 3-0 lead at the end of 1. We'll be back with more action on the Iowa Girls Union Network, powered by Mid-American Energy Company.
Hey, Frank. Oh, it looks like you spilled some grease.
Grills are multiplying and you need flavor that's bold.
There's nothing left for you to do
but to go to Fairway, your dream for Midwest meat. It's the one you need. Oh, yes, indeed. Oh, you better stake up. Fairway and meat go hand in hand.
This dream is meant for you and me.
Poultry, pork, and beef, your home for Midwest meat. It's the one you need. Oh, yes, indeed. Oh, yes, indeed. Yeah!
Fairway, it's the one you need.
Welcome back as we are live from Farm Bureau Field. The brand new double elimination bracket across the entirety of 5 classes in state softball. Miss Under Owen Sebring here as Grace Gallus will lead us off to start the top of the second inning for Remsen St. Mary's as the Hawks are in a 3-0 hole against truly a well-oiled St. Edmond machine. In the circle is Torrin Helly. We'll get to her numbers and check the defense here for the Gales in a moment. First pitch to Gallus is a little looper. What a catch! Third baseman Faith Sherbrun. We talk about how good of a hitter.
Yeah.
I mean, showing the range
amazing
at the hot corner.
Yeah, Faith Sherbrun, we've talked about her a little bit. She's going down to play college softball at Kaiser University, which is an NAIA school down in Florida. Kind of asked one of their assistants why she went down there, but it's like, hey, she wants to go to the beach. Why not? Let's do it. And you could do worse. You could 2 words. It's Florida. But she is a player too who, you could do worse in a school like Kaiser University. At one point recently ranked number 1 in the nation as far as NAIA schools go. So
powerhouse right now.
They are a great team. Football and softball too.
First pitch swung on and missed here by Mia Matkin, the junior center fielder for Remsen. Strike 1. The defense for St. Edmond, Jade Rock is in left field. Sophia Schleins is in center. It is Greenlee Crimmins in right. Faith Sherbrun, as you just heard, over at third base. Rihanna Myers at short. Ella Vandy at second. Brecken Ulrich at first. Baylor Ulrich is behind the plate before Torrin Helly, the right-handed pitcher. That one is low. It is 1-1. For Helly, just wanted to try to get you caught up on what she has been doing her sophomore season. 24 appearances, been the workhorse, 122 and 2/3 innings, a 3.37 earned run average, 106 strikeouts, just less than 1 per inning, and only 15 walks. They find the strike zone, all of the pitchers of what is a bit of a deeper staff for this St. Edmond school than a lot of the other teams will see. As this is a ground ball up the middle, a base hit. First base runner for Remsen St. Mary's, and it's Mia Matgun with the hit up the middle.
This is as good as Fort Dodge St. Ed's is. It's a program that surely Remsen St. Mary's is not intimidated by. They already met once this season. June 6th they met up. Fort Dodge St. Ed's, they did win that game, but it was just a 6-5 final. So it's not like this is heavily weighted in St. Ed's favor necessarily. They've looked great so far in this game with a 3-0 lead after 1 inning. But Remsen's a solid unit that's got a lot of experience here at the state tournament. They've been here 4 of the last 5 of the last 6 seasons. So they know what they're doing when they get to Fort Dodge.
This is a hard hit ball right at Sherbrod. She's able to knock it down, field it, and then throw to first base in time. Man, that is the fact that she was just able to knock it down and be able to make that play is really impressive for the out. Matkin goes to second. I didn't mention Matkin's numbers, by the way, but she's an offensive juggernaut as well, 462 average. And she has 10 doubles, 4 triples, and 6 homers on the season to go along with a team-high 33 runs driven in. So she's at second after the ground out by Harpenall. And then 2 outs now for Neely Bacon, the pitcher.
Just in this second inning, we've had a chance to see a little bit of what makes Faith Sherburne a college-level type of player. Just that, even that throw, the ability to knock that ball down, make just a crisp throw to first base, not to panic or overthrow or anything. Just a well-executed defensive play by her. That's going to be a player to watch to maybe get some early innings at the college level.
First pitch coming on the way, and misses 1-0. Helly in the circle, getting help early on from her defense behind her, which we alluded, if you weren't following our previous game between North Butler and Clarksville, we talked a lot about just how defense makes a difference, and we saw that defense ended up being kind of the undoing for North Butler. Clarksville was very resilient at the plate, but it was defensive mistakes by North Butler that kept that game alive. They ended up with 6 errors in that game and lost in 15 innings. So if just one less of those errors, that game could have been over in 3 different occasions.
Yep.
So defense is huge, and we've talked about it. This is an incredibly athletic St. Edmond team. You're seeing all the different players so far in 2 innings fielding their positions. It really takes a team that is great to an elite level.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, they're a team that has talent up and down the board, as we see.
Oh, what a backhand play. There it is, right on cue. Ella Vandy, long way to go up the middle with the backhand. 4-3 on the ground out, and that ends the frame. We are through an inning and a half here in Fort Dodge. 3-0 St. Edmond. They will bat when we come back after this on the Girls Union Network, powered by Mid-American Energy Company.
At Mid-American Energy, we're one company serving 1.6 million people who all need energy that's available 24/7. That's why we work 24/7. That's why we make investments in our systems that make us more resilient to extreme weather. That's why we generate power from all available resources to cover the variables in supply and demand. And that's why when the power is knocked out, we work around the clock to restore power to you. Mid-American Energy, obsessively, relentlessly at your service.
Whether you volunteer or hang with friends, play pickleball, read or follow trends. No matter what your retirement style, you deserve healthy eyes and a healthy smile. Some Medicare plans don't cover vision or dental. With Delta Dental, you can save on what's essential. Get coverage and take care of your health. It's peace of mind, so treat yourself. It's more affordable than you might think. Give us a call or visit this link.
Starting the bottom of the second inning, 8-9-1 in the St. Edmond order to face Neely Bacon and the Hawks defense. It will be Olivia Andrew to start things, the sophomore designated player, hitting for the pitcher Torrin Helly in this 8th spot. Turn numbers after this first pitch. Emery Songer along with Owen Sebring here with you in Fort Dodge. What a day it has been in the Class 1A bracket. First pitch is just low, ball 1. Andrew on the season. Sophomore, just 28 at-bats, 4 after 28, 3 RBIs. Getting some action here in the first game of this double elimination bracket here for the Gales. This one flared out of play to the right side, 1-1. And it shows you, I love that about a team, especially at this level, just trying to get regular players or any player regular at bats, just ways to kind of keep them warm. Because sometimes you run into some of these teams that make it to state, but they really only have 1 or 2 players that have any at bats sitting on their bench.
And that's how you build experience too at this level. I mean, even though St. Ed's, they've only got 1 senior on the roster, that's Sherburne. So they're going to have a ton of talent back next year. But that too is how you just build experience in case maybe somebody gets injured. Who knows what could happen next year? And so even though you have a lot of stars that are coming back, the way you build experience and talent to back them up is by just making sure everybody gets regular at-bats. See a lot of other people out there.
Got a 2-1 count here to Andrew. I mentioned Mike Kerr is the home plate umpire. 2-1. This one outside. He was not the scheduled umpire for this game. The scheduled umpire for this game, actually, Mike Fry was called in to do the second half of what became the 15-inning marathon in the previous game. So the umpires, in this heat, especially behind the plate, just a ton of innings to work, as this is going to be inside and low, a ball 4. The second walk issued by Bacon, and Andrew as well. But, you have to think about all of the different ways, all the different things that have to go right for this tournament to go on. And especially in 90-degree heat, pretty crazy stuff, as we're going to get a runner here for Andrew at first base.
And things do continue to work so well because they've made such a tradition of having it here. I mean, they've done the state softball tournament in Fort Dodge for decades now, and that's kind of why it goes off without a hitch so often, is because everybody here knows what's going on, knows what they're doing, even in a new format this year, doing a double elimination where you're putting important games on all 5 of the main fields here in Fort Dodge. Everything has to go well, but they've got the staff here that just knows exactly what they're doing, knows how to make these games go off without a hitch.
Grace Schlegel is the runner at first base.
She didn't have a number on bound,
Grace, a freshman, will be at first base as a pinch runner, and then a sac bunt to Baylor Ulrich. Before we could even introduce her, we talk about the aggressiveness early in counts, lays down a sac bunt and moves Schlegel to second.
Don't imagine there's ever going to be any let-up in the St. Ed's roster, too. They've scored 10-plus runs in 5 straight games coming in here to the state tournament. So we saw 3 in the first, just no let-up at any point. I mean, we've seen it now up and down through 1 through 9 in the roster that everybody can produce.
And we're back to the top in Ella Vandy, who takes the ball outside, 1-0. Vandy was hit by a pitch, got on base, fired everybody up on her way down there, promptly stole second base, and then would score on a single by Faith Sherbrun. 1-0 count from Neely Bacon. Pitch on the way. Nice hack, but well fouled right side. 1-1. So for Remsen St. Mary's, it's pretty clear you really have to try to limit the damage as much as possible so you don't have to come back 6, 7, 8 runs to try to make something happen, considering the defense that you're up against. As that one fouled off again by Vandy, 1-2. And for Neely Bacon, I mean, this is a significant challenge, right? When you get these kinds of base runners on that are going to be creating havoc, it really puts pressure on the pitcher to make good pitches and even strike some people out, because every ball in play could be dangerous.
Yeah, that's why you need to limit the damage as much as you can at this point in the game. You're already down 3-0, got a runner in a scoring position at this point. What can you do? Because, yes, you're an experienced team who's played a lot of games here in Fort Dodge at the state tournament if you're Remsen St. Mary's, but if you start falling behind 4 or 5 runs, there's just not very much you can do, especially against such a good team like you have in St. Ed's.
What a great changeup in laying off of it was Vandy, and it comes in high, 3-2. 1 out, runner on second base is Grace Schlegel running for Olivia Andrew, who walked to start the inning. A payoff pitch coming up to the leadoff hitter in the order, Ella Vandy. Bacon toes the rubber, gets the sign, and delivers. This is lifted high, deep into right field. Backing up on it, making the catch is Harpenau. Firing it back in, but not in time to the tagging runner, Schlegel, at second. And that will be a second out, but now just 60 feet away, yet another run. Schlinn's going to bat here after flying out to that. It basically was a carbon copy of that fly out. It seems like it's not flying quite as well as it was a little earlier today.
And I'm not going to pretend to be a scientist or know the ins and outs of it. I mean, it has cooled down a lot out there. It feels great as I walked outside
Why
to
could
chat
it be
with
like
coaches.
this when the sun's out? That's what I want to know. First pitch up and away to the number 2 batter, Sophia Schlins. The junior, as mentioned, flew out to right first time up. But another thing the catcher Gallus is going to have to worry about is any ball that gets away, they are sending that runner from third base. She will try to score every single time. 1-0. And that one fouled straight back. It is 1-1.
So much speed after hitting the ball, too. Schlins, she's got a couple triples this year. Sherburne has 7 triples. Elevandi has 5 triples.
They take the extra
Myers
base
has a couple.
every single time.
They're just going to be going. And again, head coach Bill Sherburne, he's going to keep sending him, waving those arms. He knows what he's doing out there.
Absolutely love that aggressiveness. 1-1, the count here to Schlins. She checked the swing up in the zone, 2-1. I do have to say, for whatever it's worth, for a pitcher in this position, it's so tough to really kind of take your time. And I think both pitchers so far have done a good job of just kind of taking that extra deep breath before they deliver, because it can kind of snowball on you when things are going wrong, like it has for Remsen St. Mary's defensively so far.
Yeah, these early innings, it's all about settling in, finding things out, and that's what makes it so tough for Remsen St. Mary's when they do fall behind 3-0 early. Settling in also includes needing to score some runs in a hurry if you want to come back in this game.
3-1 the count here to Schlins. She'll take ball forward just off the outside corner. Second walk of the inning, third in the game, issued by Bacon. And it is just a matter of time before the runner is going to try to draw a throw somewhere along that first and second base baseline. And we'll see what Grace Gallus, the catcher, and Neely Bacon, the pitcher, what they do in that situation.
Yeah, you want to see, I don't know if they'd even just automatically intentionally walk Faith Sherburne, or they might. Probably not going to give her anything hittable here.
Well, we'll see. First pitch. She does swing right away. It's down the right field line, fading foul.
Well, it's hittable.
Well, pitching around somebody this dangerous, it reminds me when you see those kind of numbers, she's going to be able to hit a bad ball. Like, it's not just her waiting for strikes. People aren't throwing her good strikes all the time. She's just able to hit stuff that's a bit outside of the zone. Pitching around a pattern like this doesn't really exist. You have to properly, intentionally walk her if you want to avoid her bat. There's a little bit of dancing going on at first base, but not running over there yet is Schlins. And the count is 1-1. 2 outs in the inning here. But runners on the corners for St. Edmond trying to tack on to their 3-0 lead.
Schlins 22 stolen bases this year, on the lower end of the stolen base numbers on the St. Ed's roster.
There is a high fly ball, right field backing up on it, reaching up and making the catch. Sophia Harpernell having a good defensive game so far, ends the frame, nothing across. Good job by Remsen St. Mary's to put a 0 on the scoreboard. St. Edmund still does lead it as we head to the third, 3-0. We'll have more on the way right here on the Girls Union Network, powered by Mid-American Energy Company.
Freedom Tire is proud to support the Iowa Girl through their sponsorship of the Iowa Girls High School Athletic Union. With 6 locations around the metro, you're never far from getting you back or keeping you on the road. Our certified staff and state-of-the-art technology means you can take comfort knowing you've got the best work at the best prices. Give us a try at Freedom Tire, a proud supporter of the IGHSAU.
We head to the top of the third here in Fort Dodge. Emery Songro and Sebring with you. Farm Bureau Field, got the little green monster out there on left. This is one of the mini majors here in Fort Dodge at the Harley Rogers Sports Complex. This was called Fenway Field, as you could imagine, because the little green monster out there. All of the 1A bracket is going to be played here over this week. Brand new double elimination format. We've seen 3 very notable games so far here in the 1A bracket. So far in this game, Remsen St. Mary's at the plate in the top of the third, trailing St. Edmond 3-0. As this one is a strike 0-1. Josie Schwickerath to lead off here, a senior for the Hawks.
I've attempted to do a little bit of a straw poll on some of the coaches, see how they feel about the double elimination format, and I think everybody's still feeling it out. Nobody knows quite how they feel about it yet until they get maybe one tournament in the books, but one coach did tell me that a potential drawback could be the fact that this particular team could play 3 games on Wednesday alone, and then have to potentially recover for the state championship, which wouldn't be until 2 days later. So
right, the bracket itself, could be tinkered with. I do think it'll be interesting to see how it changes energy for the winning teams and losing teams from today as they come back tomorrow and have to play. As this one fouled back, it's 0-2 here to Josie Schwickerath. Schwickerath on the season, a senior, 197 is her batting average. Does have a homer to her credit. Batting in the number 8 hole here and playing first base for the Hawks. As there's the big roller, the off speed got her frozen. Strike 3, first strikeout recorded by Helly.
And this really is the only tournament in which a double elimination format even would be possible. You couldn't really do this at basketball where you've got only one court to really play on. Same with volleyball. There's limited space. But here, where you have 5 fields to work with, sure, why not? Let's try a double elimination, see how it works.
Yeah, baseball would be interesting as well, but with pitch counts, that would be insane, especially for the lower classes. So you're right. This is really the only logical double elimination tournament that you can have outside of potentially wrestling. So you look down at first base. How about how easy that was for Brecken Ulrich? Just standing there about 2 inches from the bag, fields it, steps on first base. Kimberly Cronin, the 9-hitter, the designated player, grounds out 3 unassisted for the second out of the inning. And Chloe Homan, the leadoff batter, now will bat with 2 outs and nobody on.
I wouldn't turn on my nose to more football, so sure, let's go double elimination format in the fall. Get more games in the Dome, why not?
Good luck getting that one. As we get the ground ball, first pitch right back to the pitcher. Helly, right back to first. Very quick and efficient third inning. 1, 2, 3. They go. Does Remsen, St. Mary's, and St. Edmond continuing to get the bats right back out there. They lead at 3-0. We'll head to the bottom of the third next on the Girls Union Network, powered by Mid-American Energy Company.
At Mid-American Energy, we're one company serving 1.6 million people who all need energy that's available 24/7. That's why we work 24/7. That's why we make investments in our systems that make us more resilient to extreme weather. That's why we generate power from all available resources to cover the variables in supply and demand. And that's why when the power is knocked out, we work around the clock to restore power to you. Mid-American Energy, obsessively, relentlessly at your service.
Something exciting is growing on Iowa farms these days. Innovation. From tractors that seed, weed, and harvest with data-driven precision to drones that scout or plant cover crops to protect soil and water. Even our animals live in smart homes with round-the-clock care. Technology keeps your food safer, water cleaner, and makes us more sustainable. Because what we do here benefits everyone here. Life on the farm makes everyone's life better.
Bottom of the third inning, it will be St. Edmond back at the plate. 4, 5, and 6 due up. And time going to be called here because got a little noise coming out of the PA. Rihanna Myers, freshman, walked and scored first time through. And she will take a look at the Neely Bacon pitch, which is well outside 1-0. I have alluded to the notability of this bracket to this point. Owen, if you would like to kind of recap the 3 games that we've seen on this field so far, very interesting results, to say the least.
Yeah, and it started with game 1, as we're going to see another fly out ball there, go foul for strike 1. First game of the day was the 8 versus 1 seed. IGHSAU Audubon was the 1 seed coming into the tournament, taking on Edgewood Colesburg. Edco behind a sterling pitching performance from Rachel Eggleseder. I think 16 strikeouts she had in this game. 8-1 upset in that game to put IGHSAU Audubon on the ropes. So again, in the double elimination format, 1 seed stays alive, so they will at least have a chance to fight for their life again. But no room for error after this point by IGHSAU Audubon.
Myers a foul ball. It's 1-2.
Yep. And then in the second game of the day, offensive fireworks all across the board. You had West Monona and Southeast Warren facing off. Finished in 4 innings with Southeast Warren winning that game 21-8.
In 4.
Ball just flying out of the park in 4 innings. And so that was a 5-over-4 upset, if you will. Southeast Warren moving on to, so they are the team that will play Edgewood Colesburg tomorrow. Ball outside. And then the game right before this one was one that my partner and I are never going to be forgetting, I don't believe. Both of us coming off, I think that Emory hadn't done a game here at State in about 4 years.
4 years, yeah.
I'm kind of a rookie to this side of the microphone as well, and so
there was no easing into it as it's fouled off by Myers. Yeah, we just had one of the longest games ever played in Fort Dodge, 15 innings, and a heartbreaker for North Butler, who had 4 chances to get the last out with the lead and couldn't do it. Give credit to the defending champion Clarksville, who ended up winning what looked to be a pitcher's duel for 6 innings, turned out to be a 12-11, 15-inning marathon before this one. This is a little dribbler. Oh, my goodness. You couldn't roll it there any better. Rihanna Myers. A swinging bunt that would literally make even the most cold-hearted of fundamental coaches weep.
And that's a player that, give her any advantage, Rihanna Myers has speed, too. She's got 30 stolen bases this year. That's the 3rd most on the team, which you would see very often.
Is you're probably going to see her try to steal here.
Well, that and, is give her a slow roller, and, she's going to beat that out easily.
Chance. Yeah, for sure. Yeah, but she's at first with Jade Rock, the sophomore, at the plate. This one just catches the outside edge of the outside corner for strike 1. Rock laid down a sacrifice bunt and picked up an RBI on a squeeze play in the 1st inning.
And that North Butler Clarksville game, North Butler was a 7 seed. I thought we might see both the 1 and 2 seed go down here on the first day of the tournament, but wasn't quite meant to be. Another bunt.
Rock gets credit sacrifice. It'll be 5-3 in the book. 2 at-bats, 2 successful sacrifices for her. First out of the inning. Myers doesn't steal second, but ends up there on the sacrifice. And now Brecken Ulrich, the freshman first baseman, reached on a fielding error in the 1st inning, will now bat here in the 3rd with a runner in scoring position.
So depending on how you look at it, this is either the perfect bracket to have a double elimination format or the imperfect one, where do you like to see the top seeds go out right away, or like to see the best teams in the tournament get a second chance at things? And that's I don't know. I mean, there's really no perfect answer there. It's like, as a fan, what do you want? Do you want to see the best team win it, 1 seed have a second chance at it, or do you love seeing upsets? Do you love to see the underdog make a run to the championship? I mean, I was same situation last year. I was covering the 4A tournament and have been covering Xavier all year long. Braylon Conlon, just an outstanding pitcher, but they come in and they get upset in the 1st round and their tournament's done. So do you like it that way, or do you want to see a team like that get a second opportunity?
Here is the pitch down here to Ulrich, 1-1. I think the best argument for the for the double elimination needing 2 losses to be properly eliminated from this tournament. The reason I think there's a lot of merit to it, especially in a sport like this where there's so much, as this one's popped out into right. Another good play made by Harpinell, tagging and advancing to 3rd is Myers on the play.
Interesting enough, we saw a lot of flyouts to center field in the last game. The Clarksville center fielder, I think, had 12 putouts by the end of the night. That's already 4 putouts by the Remsen St. Mary's right fielder. A lot of balls flying out to right. I mean, again, as we all know, if you follow baseball or softball, not a lot of activity over in right field. So 4 putouts in the first 2.5 innings. That's a lot of work done out there in right field.
Yeah, Harpinell been very active out there. Just to finish my thought about double elimination, you really do feel like the best team isn't going to be a victim of random chance. Mm-hmm. And that's one of the things, right, as you try to learn and try to understand what this bracket is going to do now. With that being the case, I would imagine you're going to see a lot more of the good teams find ways to make it deep, because they get that second crack at it. And it really takes a really strong field to take those big dogs out early.
Yeah,
we'll see if the IGHSAU EHK Audubon is going to be able to make that happen, as Crimmins looks at the first one, 1-0. The 1-0, and that's outside.
Yeah, and that's That's going to really test their mettle too. I mean, we say is do we want to see the best teams keep winning? Well, are they the best team? And
right.
And I guess that too all bears itself out by the end of the tournament in a double elimination
you
format.
You really have to earn it.
Yeah.
Not that you didn't earn it before, but you having to make sure everybody loses twice. You really, really have to earn it with the way that this format's set up now. 3-0 now the count to Greenlee Crimmins. The sophomore lined out to Haley Bunkers on what was like the most slow motion line drive I can remember. A slow changeup that she just kept her bat in the over the plate just long enough to make contact, and a little looper that landed in the glove of the third baseman as Crimmins looks at strike one.
I personally am a fan of teams getting extra games, even if it's not a true double elimination format at the state tournament. I actually like the format that the basketball tournaments used to have where, if you go to state, no matter what, you're going to get 3 games, and maybe it's the third place game, fifth place game, whatever.
Making the trip. This is going to be a line drive, and it hooks just foul.
So I like a team when they go to the state tournament that they're going to get a few chances to play, even if they're not playing for a championship anymore. They've earned an opportunity to be out there again, playing on a big stage again. The fans get to see them a few more times play. Some of the best players in the state. Even if you get upset in the first round, still get a few more chances to play a couple more games with your teammates. I think that's just a good opportunity across the board to see a lot more games. But it comes with a lot of logistical issues. Again, you've got to staff those games, ref those games, have concessions, etc.
This one going to be dribbled on a half swing. It will keep that bat alive here for Crimmins. Coach Bill Sherbrud over there in the third base coach's box was looking at the third base umpire, Aaron Schmidt, looking for that call on that play down to third base that was ruled foul by the home plate umpire, Mike Kerr. And he was like, why is everybody stopping kind of thing until because it was a close play down there at third base, but that is the home plate umpire's call until it gets to the bag. So another foul ball here for Crimmins.
And I think it was deceptive, too, because there had been some Remsen players coming in, and so it got behind at least one Remsen player.
Yeah, the third baseman, it was in fair territory, and then it hooked foul, but she didn't actually make contact with it. It was a tough one, but the umpires looked like they got it right on the field. It's still 3-2 here to Crimmins, and she again flares it foul. This will be the 9th pitch of this at-bat upcoming for the 7-hitter in this order.
We talked about last game how in softball pitch counts are not as much of a conversation point, not as much of a talking point, but it does pile up when you play 15 innings. I think that might have factored into the last result a little bit, but you've got to get pretty deep into it.
Crimmins again fouls it off.
But that is where at-bats like this might come in handy, where if you need it down the road, you are kind of wearing things out, wearing Neely Bacon out a little bit earlier than maybe she is used to.
And it's an interesting point. Even if she's not wearing out per se, it's more information you're getting. It's more information that the hitters in the dugout are getting and what pitches she's going to wear. Is this one going to be fouled off again? I love at-bats like this, too, because you can just tell the batter's grinding. It's not like she's not trying to get a hit, but you can tell she's really just trying to get a piece of it. So she sees another one.
Almost feels impossible to get a walk here where she's going to be swinging the bat at whatever's coming across
the plate.
Unless
it's way out of off the zone, yes. Way choked up on that bat. Here's another payoff, and there it is. Up around the shoulders, an easy take for her. She checks it up. Almost thought about it.
I've had a lot of bad early takes today, boy.
Well, but what I say, that ball was so high, but she still had like a quick hitch with her shoulder, so she wanted to, but it was just too high for her to actually offer at it. 4th walk issued by Bacon. What an at-bat. Goes 11 pitches there before finally Crimmins wins the battle. So Olivia Andrew will bat. She was one of the walks first time through the order last inning. And then she was pinch run for, so she used her reentry to hit here, and she will swing through the first pitch. No running play on here with runners on the corners here for Fort Dodge St. Edmond yet. Andrew, if she were to get subbed out again, she would be done. She could not reenter a second time, so if she gets on base, she either will run for herself or there will be a permanent substitution made at that time. 0-1 the count, 2 on, 2 out, and it's going to hit her in the calf. Maybe even the ankle bone. That was low. Going to have to walk that one off.
Andrews hit by the pitch.
Second hit by pitch
for St. Edmond
from Bacon in the circle.
9, the catcher, Baylor Ulrich.
Baylor Ulrich, who had a sacrifice last inning, 8th grader, has the bases juiced, and Andrews still walking it off here. And they want Coach Sherbrun talking to his first base coach, trying to see exactly what they want to do here.
Andrew looks like she's motivated to stay in there.
Well, and like I said, if she comes out, she can't go back in, as this one is swung through by the 9-hitter Baylor Ulrich. But also, it's just like she needed a couple extra steps to kind of walk out that hit by pitch in the lower leg. I mean, if you've been hitting the ankle by something, that's just not a fun thing to have to run on right after that happens. That's a called strike at the knees on the outside corner, and quickly 0-2. This is a big pitch here for Bacon. 2 outs and a chance to get out of this inning, leaving them loaded to keep it 3-0 and get it back to the offense would be imperative for the Hawks here. Let's see if she can find the out pitch. 0-2. A little too far outside.
Talked a lot about mental toughness today and how teams can respond to adversity, and that's exactly what we're seeing out of Remsen St. Mary's after falling behind 3-0 early, putting up a 0 on the board for the second inning, and just about to get out of it here, but they've got the bases loaded, and one of the teams going to get a tipping point here.
And indeed, it is a strikeout, huge there from Neely. Big moment to get her first K of the game, and it leaves them loaded for the Gales. We will head to the fourth. Remsen St. Mary's hanging around. They are down 3-0 against St. Edmond here on the Girls Union Network, powered by Mid-American Energy Company.
Yeah, it's a trip when you hit the road. And when you know when you've arrived. It's a trip when you get everything you want. The burger and the fries, the creek and the crick, the city and the countryside. It's a trip when you're where you're meant to be. In this moment, in this bathroom mirror, looking like $1 million. And yeah, it's a trip when it goes by fast. Des Moines. It's a trip. Make it yours.
Excelling in athletics takes teamwork, dedication, and a commitment to excellence. These are the same qualities that help our pig farmers and our communities thrive. The Iowa Pork Producers Association is proud to support statewide high school athletics and the student athletes who make us all proud. Visit iowapork.org/WeCare to meet the people behind the pork and hear about our winning approach to caring for our pigs, the environment, and our communities.
How's it going? We are here, fourth inning. No hydration break, which I think we're all quite thankful for. Maybe not the players on the field. I'm not 100% sure. We were having 3-minute hydration breaks from the third inning, at the end of the third inning, on with every inning until at some point around the 11th or 12th inning in the previous game between North Butler and Clarksville, they decided to call that off because we were just running so late and the temperature had gotten at least a bit more manageable. But here we are. Remsen St. Mary's comes back to the plate, and they're only down by 3, and only 2 hits allowed despite all the traffic on the base paths for the Gales.
And I've got to give a little bit of credit to my partner here, Emery Songer, as we see a short flare out to center field for out number 1 on the first pitch of the inning.
Yeah, St. Mary's gets the first out. And that's the 21st pitch brings up number 2, by baseman.
What I wanted to say about you, Emery, is that you now have been a part of maybe 2 of the 3 longest games in state tournament history. Is that right? You've been on the microphone for both of them, right?
I think I have a problem. Yeah. 2017, that Eddyville Blakesburg Fremont versus Iowa City Regina, state title game for that one, by the way, and it was mostly the pitcher's duel, and it went 16 full innings. Mm-hmm. Well, and that was just a crazy week because the night before in the semifinals, I was here doing coverage for a game until 1:30 in the morning. So, the 2017 state tournament was awesome for so many different reasons, but that Eddyville game was unbelievable. Regina ended up winning. I should call it the Regina game, and they ended up getting another state championship. But it did not have the kind of craziness inning to inning that we were seeing, especially in the 7th inning and beyond.
How many pipes burst in that game?
0, exactly. So we had one more pipe burst in our press box building here I would love to know the radius of that thing. It got a lot of people soaked down.
It had some airtime, too. It was right in front of our eyeball.
Wow. Helly with an amazing play again. Look at the defense here from the Gales. Another quick out. This one a 1-3 ground out. Hallie Bunkers grounds it back to Helly.
The catcher, Grace Gallus.
And now the cleanup hitter, Grace Gallus, who lined out what was a beautiful play, just stabbing at it by Faith Sherbrun. at the hot corner. But like I said, I have her down for 24 pitches.
It's a way to conserve your energy. I mean, that's maybe one extra wrinkle in this double elimination format that I'm sure people have considered too, is that instead of playing just 3 maximum games, you're probably going to get at least a 4th game in there. And so a pitcher like this, it's like you do want to kind of conserve all the energy that you can, because it can turn into a long week easily.
1-0 the count here. And off speed will drop in for a strike here to Gallus. Yeah, and 200-plus pitches for Clarksville's pitcher in that game. So the winner of this game will play them. It'll be interesting to see what that energy level is for a player who had to pitch 15 straight innings out here in the heat and find a way to get into the winner's bracket. 1-1, swing and a miss. Gallus in the hole 1 and 2.
Because that game's going to be, well, it's not till a little bit later in the day. The winners of that game, so Clarksville against either St. Ed's or St. Mary's, is going to be at 5:15 tomorrow. So there is a little bit of a break for much more necessary for Clarksville than whoever wins this one.
For a little bit,
you can sleep that one off.
This one popped up on a 1-2 pitch. Who's it going to be? Vandy calling for it. She's got it, and that retires the side. Just one base runner so far through 4 innings for Remsen St. Mary's against Torrin Helly. Very efficient as well. We are halfway home in regulation. That is here on Farm Bureau Field. 3-0. St. Edmond leading Remsen St. Mary's on the Girls Union Network, powered by Mid-American Energy Company.
At Mid-American Energy, we're one company serving 1.6 million people who all need energy that's available 24/7. That's why we work 24/7. That's why we make investments in our systems that make us more resilient to extreme weather. That's why we generate power from all available resources to cover the variables in supply and demand. And that's why when the power is knocked out, we work around the clock to restore power to you. Mid-American Energy, obsessively, relentlessly at your service.
Looks like another perfect day to get out there and enjoy the summer.
Oh, before she gets in the car, it's easy to choose. B-E-R-F-E-C-T. B-E-R-F-E-C-T. Come on, baby, you look good on me. If you see what I can see, D-O-D.
Iowa State Fair, August 13th through the 23rd.
Bottom of the 4th inning, it is the Gales of St. Edmond leading 3-0 over Remsen St. Mary's. Emery Songer, Owen Sebring here on Farm Bureau Field. Class 1A bracket, last game of the night. And the first pitch is a ball to the leadoff batter, Ella Vandy, leading off this 4th inning. She's 0 for 1, was hit by a pitch, stole a base, scored a run back in the first, and then flew out to right field back in the second. And only 2 hits in the game so far for the Gale offense, but, man, they wreak havoc on the base pass.
Yeah, rarely will you see a game. Well, do we see another hit here? Looks like we might have an error over at the first base side. She tried to backhand it, but just got past her, and so Vondi is safe at first to start off the bottom of the 4th here. But rarely do you see a game where you're going to have more runs scored than hits, but that's the situation that St. Ed's is in right now.
And they've left 6 on base so far and only had the 2 hits. So there's been 4 walks, 2 hit batters, and now 2 errors in the game. Is this one going to be outside for ball 1? And it's just a matter of time before Vandy takes off from first. Registered stolen base number 48 on the year back in that first inning. 1-0 count, and Neely Bacon, the right-hander, fires. Still no run there from Vandy, and was a strike to even it up at 1-1 for Sophia Schlins, who is 0 for 1, flew to right and walked in the second.
Hard to imagine there's 3 players with more stolen bases than that in Class 1A.
This is a tough one down the right field line, and it's a fair ball. Picked up quickly, and Browning second on her way to third. Kind of a late throw. It'll get to third, and then taking second behind Vandy is Schlins, and there you have it. The aggressive base running again by Bill Sherbrun and his team. The fact that Vandy had to hold up a little bit until that ball landed in fair territory, and was, even as the right fielder Harperno was making the play, was already rounding second. The throw went to a cutoff man. If they go straight to third base, there might have been a play there. It's a long throw and a tough, it's always tough for the right fielder to get it out of third base, but the heads-up base running by Schlins to follow it up on the throw there, really something. I mean, this team just runs the bases about as aggressively as any team you're going to see in any of the 5 classes.
And maybe put herself behind. She really didn't need to hold up there, I don't think, because if the ball landed foul, it doesn't matter. May as well take off. It didn't look like anybody was really all that close to catching it, so she could have probably gotten a little bit more of a head start on that one before it landed.
This one popped high in the center. Certainly deep enough to score the runner from third. Caught by Matgun. She'll get it in quickly. Runner stays at second. Vandy scores from third. Sacrifice fly by Sherbrun. Adding to that RBI total. Make it 47 on the season.
Number 23, the shortstop,
That's the first out of the inning.
Yeah, she's got to be one of the best players, if not the best player in Class 1A this year. Leads 1A in doubles, second in triples, leads 1A in slugging percentage, 5th overall across all players among all classes. Faith Sherbrun, man, what a special kind of player.
Here's the pitch on the outside corner here to Rihanna Myers. The freshman walked and scored with a stolen base in between in the first, and then hit about the perfect swinging bunt that you could, straight down, and it rolled about 15 feet slowly down the third baseline in fair territory for what was at that time the second hit of the game for Fort Dodge St. Edmond. So that pitch misses 1-1. One out, runner on second. I don't even have to say they're fast. Every single player in this order can run, as we have talked about. Everybody steals bases, they take extra bases, but Schlins can really book it at second base. The 1-1 here from Bacon. 4-0 the score. There's a swing and a miss. Big secondary lead, but now retreating is Schlins. And it's 1-2. Cleanup batter, just a freshman. Myers digs in, and Bacon delivers. This is a ground ball, a couple of feet foul. We'll do it again.
Fort Dodge St. Edmond, as we mentioned, only one senior on the roster. That's their star player, Faith Sherbrun. 7 starters on this team are sophomores or younger. So much young talent for a team that has a bright future here in Fort Dodge.
They could win it this year. Realistically, they're that good. As there's a swing and a miss. Good pitch there by Bacon. Her second strikeout. She's done a good job. She's battled. You have a great contact hitting team. You have all this stuff going on the base paths. Despite walking 4 and hitting 2 batters, the damage could be a lot worse than it is right now.
Yeah, and you mentioned they've got the opportunity to win it all this year. Boy, they might be the best team. They've looked the best of all the teams in Class 1A so far on this first day. Just even though it's not a huge lead, although they might
This
be
is a little dribbler
here.
through the right side. This is going to draw a throw home, but it's going to bounce away from the catcher. Throw to second, not going to be in time. An RBI single by Jade Rock.
Rock single. Drives home
She
run.
takes second on the throw home.
Brings up number 6.
And that's what I'm talking about. And so Harpino tried to get that in as fast as she could. And it didn't matter how quickly she got to the ball. Bill Sherbrun was sending her all the way no matter what. You have to make a perfect throw. You have to try to get us out. And the throw short hopped. The catcher, Gallus, couldn't reel it in. And another hit, another RBI. Jade Rock gets her second RBI of the game. And it's now 5-0.
I kind of said that earlier about Bill Sherbrun. That's why they're aggressive on the base paths. They just keep going, keep running until another team proves that they have the ability to get you out, either the catcher or the outfielder.
This is going to be a line drive into the gap in right center field. Rounding third and coming home is Rock. Holding up at first is Brecken Ulrich. The freshman gets an RBI single, and now the floodgate's starting to open a bit here for the Gales.
You just mentioned it. I don't know if it was hardly 90 seconds ago that you said that it felt like it could be a lot worse for this lead of St. Edmunds over St. Edmund over St. Mary's. And, boy, it's getting to that point where now you have 6 runs, 2 outs, a runner on base at this point, and this is kind of what it looked like. There were a lot of runners on base that were getting left on for St. Ed's. Felt like a matter of time until that dam burst and you started to see more runs come across, and that's what they're getting here. Just keep hitting the ball, keep rounding the bases. They'll start coming in eventually.
Got a 6-0 score. You don't see this too often, where the outfielders also come in and join the infield in the battery. As Erica Bates chatting with Remsen St. Mary's, her team, just trying to get things settled down and try to get out of here. Just her second year as the coach of this school, and as we talk about, right, like this school is good at everything. You have, even with the small enrollment numbers, you have an expectation that you're going to compete and win at this level. And they've run into a bit of a buzzsaw offensively. Every hit so far, by the way, I have 5 total in my book in it for St. Edmond, all singles, including 1 infield single, and then on top of that, 2 hit by pitches and 4 walks, along with 2 errors.
Yeah, they've got some long ball hitters. Faith Sherburne, she's got 9 home runs this year. Rihanna Myers had 6, so they can't hit the long ball, but they can manufacture it. With that speed on the base pass, you don't need a lot more extra
Ground
base
ball
hits.
to third, throw over to first base. Nice play there by Bunkers, and that will retire the side as Greenlee Crimmins grounds out. But damage done, a crooked number, a 3 spot up for the Gales. St. Edmond leading now 6-0 over Remsen St. Mary here on the Girls Senior Network, powered by Mid-American Energy Company.
Excuse me, man. You dropped this.
Back here, starting the 5th inning, it is Remsen St. Mary's with Mia Matgun, Sophia Harpino, and Neely Bacon. Those are the 3 scheduled hitters. Against Torrin Helly, who was only thrown by my count 28 pitches in 4 innings of work. I'm not a mathematician, but that's 7 pitches an inning on average so far, and only allowed 1 base runner, which was a single to this hitter, Mia Matgun, who grounded one up the middle back in the 2nd inning, the lone base runner so far for the Hawks.
Yeah, we mentioned it today that you don't need a pitcher out there who's going to just throw a ton of strikeouts every single game to be a good team. She's only got 1 strikeout so far in the first 4 innings. You're just making hittable balls, throwing a lot of hittable balls just in the first 1 or 2 pitches, and creating opportunities for her defense to make plays behind her.
And you got an aggressive team, Remsen St. Mary's. You know, they like to swing the bats, and that's good, but she's inducing soft contact in different spots of the zone, and the defense can make plays. All around the diamond, we've seen them make plays, including Helly herself, who's made a couple of nice snags on ground balls in the circle. 1-1 the count here to Matkin. And that's hit high in the air, left field, foul ground, and playable, and it drops just outside the reach of Jade Rock. She kind of went on my vision there behind the roof of the dugout, but unable to squeeze it was Jade Rock making a long run over there from left field. And we will have the inning continue, or the at-bat continue, I should say. 1-2, the count. Sometimes that's all it takes. Just a little extra life, potentially, for a batter. Maybe get things going in your direction. The 1-2. Fouled straight back. Still 1-2.
Yeah, the mindset at this point for Remsen St. Mary's is just try to find any bit of good news that you can. Just try to string a couple hits together. If you push 1 run across, maybe that gives you a little bit of life, a little bit of hope that you can come back in this game. But
yeah,
after falling behind 6-0, that's a tough hole to crawl out of against such a good team in St. Ed's.
Yeah, with 9 outs to go. Here's a pitch. Oh, what a beautiful breaking ball. Strikeout looking. The second strikeout for Helly as she gets Matgun. She was not looking for that off speed, and it was perfect. That, by the way, 5-pitch at bat, the longest at bat for any hitter so far for the Hawks.
And Matgun is the only player so far who's been able to scrape a hit against her tonight, and so there's a little bit of danger eliminated for St. Ed's.
So this sophomore, Sophia Harpino, is at the plate, grounding to third base first time through as she swings and misses at this one, 0-1. talk about Sherburne and her bat and just how great of a hitter she is and how good of a fielder she is, but the fact that she's that good of a fielder and playing such an important position on the diamond at third base, I mean, you can see why a juggernaut like Kaiser is excited to bring her into the fold for what they're building at the NAIA level, as it is now 0-2.
Yeah, I love the fact that she's going to an NAIA school. I mean, I'm a guy who worked a lot in Northwest Iowa where NAIA football is king, and they play a lot of NAIA sports over there, and so, boy, it is some competitive sports at that level. And, yeah, just why not go to Florida? Find a good place to do it and get it a second straight strikeout if you're Fort Dodge St. Ed's.
Torrin Helly gets her third K as Harperdale goes down swinging. And that brings up Neely Bacon, the senior pitcher, who grounded his second, first time up back in the second. I'm a William Penn man myself.
Is that right?
An alumni, so
Okay.
I'm very familiar with the NAIA sports scene.
Sure. I always tell people it's such a great opportunity, that next level. You know, if you don't find a home here in Iowa somewhere, if you're not getting all the Division I looks that you might find, there are some really great opportunities out there at the NAIA level.
And the scholarship situation, the fact that there are so many different types of schools out there that offer so many different things that maybe you wouldn't have found at one of these gigantic schools that, you know, is on television all the time. I 100% agree with you.
Especially in the state of Iowa, where, I mean, if you're a
There's
football,
a lot of them, yeah.
if you're a football player that doesn't get a D1 look, you could do a lot worse than going to Morningside, Northwestern, Grandview, a place that wins national championships at the NAIA level. You could do a lot worse than going to a place like that.
Didn't mention William Penn, which made the NAIA playoff last year.
Is that right? Good for them.
Come on, Owen.
Good way to represent the statesman. Nice
Shout out Grandview and not William Penn. Give me a break. 1-1 the count here to Neely Bacon.
They've got a rivalry, don't they?
Yeah.
Play for the, is it a ladder or something?
Yeah, it's the Rock and Ladder.
Rock and Ladder.
Rock and Ladder trophy. Unfortunately, William Penn has been on the short end of that score a lot.
You don't say.
They have won it a few times.
Okay.
For the record, it's not like an offer or anything. And William Penn, for the record, also has dominated in sports like basketball a lot of the time too. So,
Listen.
There's a lot more sports out there than just football, Owen.
And how's their wrestling rivalry going?
Okay, Owen, we don't have to keep talking about this. It is just missing there to Neely Bacon, 2-2. Now the count with 2 outs.
William Penn's got a women's wrestling program, I know, and I'm excited to see what they can do there.
They just, I believe, 3 years in now to wrestling competition for the William Penn women. We're talking about a booming sport in Iowa, girls wrestling. Numbers way up for that the last few years. Is this another slow roller, and that just misses? This is the first full count, the first 3-ball count issued by Torrin Helly in this ball game, and it's been a good at-bat here from her counterpart, Neely Bacon. Payoff pitch upcoming. And a long look into the dugout is Helly to get the sign. Still looking in there, waiting for it, still waiting for it, and eventually Bacon wants to call time, as she should. Get back in there. Now ready for the 3-2. This is popped up, easy play over at third base for Sherburne, and that's the inning. 1, 2, 3, a couple of strikeouts, and through 4.5. St. Edmond still looking strong at a 6-0 scoreline. We'll come back for the bottom of the 5th right after this on the Girls Union Network, powered by Mid-American Energy Company.
Life's buzzing with energy, from the delightfully routine to the novel and exciting to the truly uncharted. With all that life brings, it's easy to lose track of what powers all those moments, our health. At Mercy One, our caring doctors focus on just that, powering health, from the everyday to the extraordinary. So you're ready for what life brings next. Find care at mercyone.org/healthpowerslife.
Something exciting is growing on Iowa farms these days. Innovation. From tractors that seed, weed, and harvest with data-driven precision to drones that scout or plant cover crops to protect soil and water. Even our animals live in smart homes with round-the-clock care. Technology keeps your food safer, water cleaner, and makes us more sustainable. Because what we do here benefits everyone here. Life on the farm makes everyone's life better.
Olivia Andrew.
Back here in Fort Dodge, it's the Girls State Softball Tournament presented by Iowa Farm Bureau on Farm Bureau Field. Class 1A quarterfinals It is St. Edmond, the 3 seed over Remsen St. Mary's, as we are in the bottom of the 5th inning. The Gales of St. Edmond at the plate, leading 6-0. 1-0 to Olivia Andrew, the number 8 hitter, designated player. She checks her swing and takes ball 2. She is 0
for 0.
0 for 0. I tried to correct myself. There was no good way to correct myself. Drew a walk in the 2nd, hit by a pitch in the ankle in the 3rd.
Just boosting that OBP.
2-0. And she takes a strike there, 2-1. That's a tough day to not have anything, like nothing to show for anything, right? Like, she's out here, she's trying as hard as she can, but she has nothing in the scorebook.
Yeah, no registered official at bat yet.
2-1, the pitch, that one low. Hey, getting on bases, it counts, no matter what it looks like. And this is one thing. I look in this, these statistics as we get set for this and try to, read up on all these teams. And some of those at-bat numbers can be deceiving just because of how productive some of the outs are, whether it's sacrifice flies, bunts, walks, hit batsmen, all that good stuff. The 3-1, and she's going to walk again.
So we're still waiting for the first official at-bat of the game for Olivia Andrew. 3 plate appearances, no at-bats.
There's going to be time, and I wonder if this may be it for her, because if she gets a pinch runner, then she cannot re-enter the game, and it looks like that is what's going to happen. So that'll be the night for Olivia Andrew. 3 plate appearances, 2 walks, and a hot hit by pitch. And Grace Schlegel will run for her once again and will be in that spot in the order.
Is this a different hitter?
So now the pinch runner, Schlegel, out there at first base, and Baylor Ulrich, the 8th grade catcher, at the plate with the runner on first and nobody out. After we get the lineup thing figured out, here we go. Ulrich digs in. Here's the pitch. Bunt laid down by Ulrich, scooped up by the pitcher. Throw to first is Bacon for the out. Her 2nd sacrifice bunt of the game, both of those on the first pitch.
I think we might be reaching a point here where Fort Dodge St. Ed's is probably hoping to scrape a couple runs across here, because if they reach that 8-0 mark, I believe that's a mercy rule finish after 5 innings. Is it an 8-run finish here?
Yeah, that's a good question.
Okay. I think that'll be the case. So score 2 runs and we'll see what happens.
Well,
but
we'll let them tell us what's going on here. 6-0 is the scoreline right now, as that one is low. It is 1-0 as we're back to the top. And this is just a gauntlet. And it's a gauntlet. They can hit homers like we've talked about, but it really is just every single player can run, they can bunt, they can situationally hit, and Ella Vandy for the 4th time is at the plate, and she ropes this into right. Caught, but the runner left. Schlegel has to get back, but the throw gets away. They shovel it to second in time. Double play out there in right field. I believe 9-5-4?
I think that's right.
On the double play, Schlegel just got caught off of second, thinking that was going to get down. Maybe she was told by Bill Sherbrun to, get here, because he didn't think that Sophia Harpino could get to it, but she did, being very active out there in right field, and the double play ends the frame. We'll head to the 6th. 6-0 in favor of St. Edmond over Remsen St. Mary's, and more on the way next on the Girls Union Network, powered by Mid-American Energy Company.
SWIC is a community. Southwestern Community College is a place in rural southwest Iowa where students from across the world come to be a part of a tight-knit family, Spartan Nation, where they study, train, grow, thrive, and are called by name, not by number. At SWIC, we are one.
Back here in Fort Dodge, Remsen St. Mary's back at it for the top of the 6th inning. Emery Songer, Owen Sebring with you here for the nightcap of what has been a very, very interesting 4 games in Class 1A. This is the final one of those. Who will advance to the winner's bracket to take on number 2 Clarksville tomorrow night, and who will go and play tomorrow afternoon against North Butler, who certainly will be looking for revenge after a heartbreaking defeat at the hands of Clarksville earlier tonight. First pitch off the end of the bat. That'll drop in for a hit for the 8-hitter, Josie Schwickerath. And then they get her on the pick behind her. This team can do everything. They can do everything. I mean, what a smart play. She just rounds first like a normal batter would, but they throw behind her and get her picked off.
I was looking down, making my score sheet. Was that an 8-3 put out? Did they just go straight center field to first base?
Yeah, I
think everybody up here in the press box was looking down.
The press box was down to right the single, and then the throw came from either 8-3, and maybe there was a middle person in there to relay it to first. But just the intuition to throw behind a runner on what looked like a typical, normal single. That is what this Fort Dodge St. Edmond team is bringing to the table.
That's smart players overall, and that is good coaching too. Bill Sherbrun making sure his players, as we see a ground out here to the pitcher, lined out for out number 2 in the inning for St. Mary's. But Bill Sherbrun just making sure that his players are literally keeping their heads on straight at all moments, even after they've just hit a single. Why not look around and see if they're rounding first base? That's something that very few coaches are going to be able to coach perfectly well, that they're always going to be looking for that, and even less often are you going to see a team execute it like that.
Yeah, and thankfully we got video for all that so we can go back and just see where all the players were. But everybody has their responsibility, and they're in the right spot all the time. Kimberly Cronin on the ground out. The sophomore Cronin, by the way, has had a great season, a .291 average, hitting in that 9 spot. But she has swung at the first pitch on both of her at-bats, and that you know what? It has been a theme here for Remsen St. Mary's. Very aggressive on pitches early in counts, trying to get themselves on base. And even when they do with the single up the middle, it turns out to be an out for the Gales.
Yeah, and Helly keeping that pitch count down. She doesn't bat either, so she is conserving that energy for a potentially long tournament ahead of her.
Oh, yeah, for sure. 1-1 now. The count is swing and miss by Chloe Homan. Freshman 0 for 2, popped out to third in the first, and then grounded back to Helly in the circle back in the third inning. It's a wild day of 1A softball here on this field, Farm Bureau Field. The 1-1 on the way. Ground ball. This one's going to get past Helly in the circle, but the second baseman, Vandy, up with it over to first in time, and another quick 1-2-3 inning. Even with the single dribble, kind of dropped in there. Great defense continues to lead the way for the Gales. We hit the bottom of the 6th. It is St. Edmond in the lead over Remsen St. Mary's 6-0 on the Girls Union Network, powered by Mid-American Energy Company.
Ready? Let's go.
Mom, over here. Yeah, this kind of thing can happen when you're hiking, but no worries, Mom. I can prescribe something to soothe the itch.
Unity Point Health looks at your family's health from your point of view, offering same-day appointments with expertise focused on what matters most to you. Unity Point Health. Expert care focused on you.
Title sponsor of the IGHS.
Welcome back. It's the Iowa Girls State Softball Tournament presented by Iowa Farm Bureau, and you're watching it here on the Girls Union Network, powered by Mid-American Energy Company. If we do have more substitutions, as always, substitutions, pitching changes in today's game, always brought to you by IMT Insurance. Learn how you can be worry-free with IMT at imtins.com. It'll be Fort Dodge St. Edmond 2-3-4. Take on Neely Bacon. Sophia Schlinn's the junior center fielder. Singled down the right field line last time up, and she will stroke one into right, and a nice backhand catch running in by Sophia Harpino. She's been really good out there in right field.
That's her 6th put out in the night. 6 flyouts to right field. How often do you see
Yeah,
that
she's
happen?
got an assist.
And an assist to go with it.
Sure,
Yeah, speaking of smart defensive plays, that was a great one too last inning to see that runner who
like
took
you don't
off.
see even professional teams thrown behind the runner like that in that situation. Just it's been a treat to watch. When you see a team this fundamentally sound in all phases of the game, and then their coaching staff is super aggressive to boot with it. Making the extra throw, making the extra signal for the base, the bunts, the way that they run the base passes. There's a striped single by Sherbrun for her second hit.
The single brings up number 23.
Yeah, that's what makes softball such a beautiful game, is because even more than baseball, I think it can be executed with precision and workmanship and just intelligence so much more that you see a play like that. I mean, every now and then you'll see a runner get thrown out from right field to first base if they're not hustling down the first base line. So many things that can be executed so much more perfectly on the defensive side.
Sherbrun taking off for second. The throw comes in, but she slides behind the tag, and she's in there for another steal, her second of the game. Sherbrun now with 34 of those on the season.
St. Ed's probably wanting to be a little aggressive here. If they scrape 2 more runs across this inning, that would end it early via the mercy rule. No matter what, if the result holds, they'd finish off at another half inning anyway.
Right,
But,
the 3 defensive outs away if they don't finish offensively here. As that one's hammered by Myers, well back into center. How about a walk-off homer, run rule style, 8-0 Gales, and Rihanna Myers coming through with the homer, her 7th of the season. What a team.
I have had some predictions go wrong tonight, and every now and then I'll do the reverse announcers jinx and call for it just seconds before it happens. Rihanna Myers slugging out her 7th home run of the season. That ends this thing early via mercy rule. You know, Emery and I have been kind of calling for a shorter game after the 15-inning marathon that we saw before this one. And this one, this is exactly what we needed. I don't know if we were hardly out here for an hour of this game.
Yeah, it was so fast, especially compared to, with the no hydration breaks and everything. So 2 on the board. St. Edmond win it, 3 in the first, 3 in the fourth, and 2 in the sixth. That, if you can believe it, the only extra base hit of the game for either team. And extra base hits in today's game brought to you by Channel Seeds. The enhanced Channel Seed brand is here to help farmers like you up your game and rise to the challenge. Learn more at channel.com/rise. Owen Sebring, this has been a lot of fun, and what a day we are going to have tomorrow. We got second games for everybody, a double elimination, everybody's still in it. What's your big takeaway in Class 1A?
Well, overall, I'm just thinking about the best players I've seen today. Faith Sherburne certainly towards the top of that list, both with some offensive prowess and defensively. Saw her make some really excellent plays. Rachel Eggleseder from Edgewood-Colesburg. I'm so excited to call that game tomorrow between them and Southeast Warren. She was an incredible pitcher in that 8-1 upset for Edgewood-Colesburg, and so there's a lot to look forward to on day 2. In this new format with the double elimination, we're going to see a couple teams' dreams of a state championship officially come to an end tomorrow. So today was great. Tomorrow, when it gets to be do or die time, that's where things are really going to get fun and rubber hits the road.
Absolutely. You'll have coverage every single game, all 5 classes, but especially here at Farm Bureau Field. We're going to continue to be here throughout the week, and we cannot wait to see what happens tomorrow as the first game set between the on the other side of our bracket at 10:30 a.m. first pitch. All day long. Cannot wait for that to happen, and we can't wait to bring it to you on IGHSAU.